Medge, the founder of Your Angel Network, a platform where you will come to hear information which will help you feel better, which will help you thrive, will help you unwrap your bliss, will help you feel better, get unstuck. So today we are with Dejuwuan Pope. Hello, Dejuwuan.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
So Dejuwuan is the founder of Strive and Inspire Development Center. What is it? And Dejuwuan will tell us more about it. So I met Dejuwuan, I have to tell you that I met Dejuwuan in Nevada. He was looking for a mentor. He was looking for people who have expertise and who can help some young people in the community. So I want him to tell you his story because I was so touched by his story, because he's a young man who have a vision and have the humility to look for people with expertise, the expertise that he didn't have at the time, to help him make his dream come true. So Dejuwuan, tell us about you, please. Tell us all your story. I will try to not cut you because I really want you to tell us how you arrived to this point, what led you to that, and tell us your story.
Yes, well, good morning, and thank you so much, Medge, for the amazing introduction. My name is Dejuwuan Pope, and I just want to thank everybody for being on the call this morning. So my name is Dejuwuan Pope, and kind of just a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Northern California. I moved down to Southern Nevada to kind of go into high school and finish off college. And then I have navigated over to Texas for work. And now I'm back to California. But this journey with Strive and Inspire Development Center has been an amazing journey. We're going on 3 years of operating, which I'm very excited for. But this vision and how it all started in 2017 started throughout some course of events that happened during high school. So going back now to high school, this all started maybe my sophomore year, junior year in high school, kind of just living at home with my family, thinking, everything was good. And then, a different course of events came. I've never met my real father. So it's always been like my real mom and, my stepdad with their children. And I felt very outlier to the family because I was the only one not 100% blood to everyone related, since I was only really related to my mom and not the stepdad. So,
Okay.
Some
and
events
a lot of people can relate to that, and so it's great. Thank you for telling us your full story, because many people can relate to that.
Yes, and now working with high school students for the past 3 years, it's very common. It's very common, for students to, say, hey, well, I'm gonna be at my mom's this week, or I'm gonna be at my dad's this week, or hey, I'm living at home with just my dad or just my mom. So it's very common. It's not even different or unnormal anymore. It's very common.
I was raised by a stepfather, so I know exactly, and I say it, and I was really lucky because he was adorable and he really loved me as if I was his own daughter. But it's not something common. So that's why I say thank you, and I'm very grateful for that. But it's really not common. And as a teacher, I saw situations that are not very conventional, but not right for the kids. You're right.
Yes, most definitely. And this dire situation that I was in, unfortunately, it wasn't kind of the sugars and cookies that everyone, wish that it could be growing up, especially in your teenage years. Kind of just moving down forward, unfortunately, some events occurred to where, I was emotionally abused, physically abused, and to where I ended up taking myself out of that situation, to where, I became kind of a client with, Child Protective Services in Southern Nevada. And then also with some other like um, teenage support services in the area that was provided by the state of Nevada. So during that time, I was, um, you know, group
You,
homing.
yes, you
I
were
was
not feeling good about yourself. However, you find people to welcome you and to help you feel better and feel more alive because you were completely emotionally and physically destroyed.
Yes, most definitely. I didn't lean on a lot of people in that situation. It wasn't to where the events occurred and then I left. These events have occurred over months of time. And, I, in that situation, I was really scared to, go to people, to speak up, to talk. So it did take some courage, from the support of my friends, my counselor at my high school, to really kind of speak up and, let them know what was going on. In addition to the visual representation that they saw as well, whether it was markings on myself or even just not seeing me too. So just being a part of like these groups homes I wasn't in, I was really put in situations that was not good, for a 16-year-old boy. And these conditions were being very accessible to drugs and to violence, and just a community of that. Just that's how they survived in this environment. And so I was with these programs for maybe about a year or so. And at the end of the day, since I was a minor, they did support me with things that I really needed, like a transportation, a bus pass, and a way to eat. But at the end of the day, I really needed someone to really like look out for me because I was always on my own. And that was something that I did not feel supported in these homes. Um,
I, I have just a question. Sorry, Dejuan. Do you have a home to stay or where are you at this time?
Currently?
No, where at this time at 17, where are you? You were at your parents' home still, your mother home or no? Where
No, I was in a group home. I
a
was
group home.
bouncing
Okay.
around from group homes.
To group home, yeah.
Some of these homes, maybe there was about six other boys in this home, and there was like one house parent. Others were kind of designed differently, but the whole idea was, there was just a home for homeless teens, that the state provided for support for these teenagers. So at this point, I was in a group home. Then it got to a point to where I really needed to think to myself, like, is this the certain environment I want to put myself in, like around drugs, violence? And I was just getting more worse and worse down the road, just for myself and feeling unsafe too. So I
Oh.
decided at the age of 17 to run away from the group homes, because I was kind of obligated to kind of go back to, since I was a minor, I was supposed to be back at a certain time and report and talk to whoever I needed to talk to. But I didn't really feel safe. I didn't feel happy in there. I feel like, my case managers was not on my side in terms of, my case and things like that. Because there were times where they was trying to put me back at home. And
Oh,
since I was a minor.
yeah, and that was very dangerous for you because when you tell about your stepfather, it wasn't possible for you to go back.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel safe going back. And, they didn't believe they call them accusations that I made. They didn't really believe the things that I said. They were more on my parents' side than my side. So I ended up running away from the group homes just to be 100% independent at that point. And I knew making that decision, like, there was no one that was going to look out for me except for myself. So at that time, I was put in a situation to where it was very hard for me. I was, at one point, this is maybe right before I got a car, to where I was like couch surfing from like friend to friend, trying to stay with a friend maybe for a month while I was in school, 2 months, however long, I could stay with my friends. I also felt very, as much of a burden staying with them, with their family as well. So there was other times to where like, I ended up sleeping like at a park or under a bridge and as well. And then once I finally got my car, I primarily started sleeping in my car, which I did for maybe about a month or so. Sorry, for almost a year, I slept in my car. Um, and
because you wanted to go to school, so you have to
yes,
find a safe place and a stable place to be able to continue your education.
yes, exactly. And that made high school a lot more challenging for me, because during the school day, yes, like I was focused on like trying to get my work done. I was very much behind, and like to this day, I go back to my high school because of the support that they gave me. It was tremendous. Like I was months behind, and they were able to still get me caught up, and they saw, you know, the dire need that I wanted to graduate, because at that point, I was a senior at this point, 100% independent. And, when I started, I was on a course to not graduating. So, um, I was in a place to where, I was lost. I was, lonely, and, thoughts of like suicide was, occurring like on a weekly basis. And, I felt there was just too much on my plate going on. Like during the school day, I was trying my hardest to get work done and graduate. But once I walked off like the school campus, like I was just trying to survive. And, whether it was try to find something to eat, a place to, park my car and sleep and be safe and just be out in the world, and not really have like a security bubble around myself. I felt very open and vulnerable at that time. So it got to a point to me to where I realized, man, like at the end of the day, like I'm the only one that can, really make this better. And at school, one of my counselors had called someone to the talk to me. And this gentleman so happened to be a police officer, an African American police officer. And um, police officer, um, at that time, my view was, the police just, there's just things that you hear about the police doing, and especially being a minor, and minority, um, you know, it didn't really make things better. But, the police officer, and one of the things that really got to me, at first I was very hesitant and I was very standoffish to his support, but he was very consistent. I think that's what he did not give up on me, but he would still be there. And I don't know why he was. Maybe he saw something in me, or maybe that was his job. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Um,
that is important, when we talk about the uh, really now, where we don't see a lot of people who have the heart to help others. Yes, you have the heart you wanted to make it happen, you wanted to finish at school, and you find a policeman who was able to help you as well. So it's important to say that, because you have angels all over the world, right? You have them to help
mhm.
you. And I say that because of your Angel Network platform, where I really believe that in the world we will find somebody who can help us, and I call them angels. So it's, yeah, great.
Yes, most definitely. And, I really still think around me, like doing my situation now, like, being 23 years old, I'm still supporting myself, still in myself. And, I still see myself progressing, learning, and, growing, and, I couldn't really do it without really the angels around myself. So, but, during this time, I was able to, get support and, finding a room to rent from somebody to I at least have, some walls and a roof around myself, and getting my first job as well in retail, which was pretty amazing.
You
But
work
now kind of
at
going
Apple,
into,
right? You work at Apple.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
yes, I started working at Apple retail, and amazing job, amazing team. The love that they gave to me, I found, one of my best friends there at that job, and some amazing managers um, that just really went all out for me. I started working there when I was a minor, under 18, so they had to know my situation. Since I didn't really have a parent or guardian, and just the extent of support and love that this team has given out to me, it was amazing. But in a different situation now than what I was in before, on my own, on the streets, and, trying to survive. Now, I do have a car, I do have a place, but I still felt like a lot of things wasn't getting better. The support, I still felt very lonely and very lost in the support that I had, basically kind of, went zero to none because, I was older. And, now, like, I'm trying to support myself and things that I never knew I had to do before, like what, the maintenance of a car, how to, financially, and then I have a place, how to support myself, like simple things like it may be funny, but I did not know how to grocery shop. I did not know how to like get food for myself. And, that was very hard and difficult for me when I went to our store, and I was like, what do I buy? What do I buy? What do I buy? And other things like, I didn't have a checking or savings account. I had no idea how those worked. And just with myself, like being independent, like it was very hard for me to multitask, all these things going on in my life. And I was trying to start college as well. And, I had a job, and I had a full-time job, and, just too much going on. So it's very hard for me to tackle all those things itself too. And I didn't really have someone to, encourage me and help build me up, and, just as a person
Mhm.
itself. And,
Yes,
and then about my health. Mhm,
yes, Dejan, just to cut you for 1 second. You are listening. It's
mhm,
important to realize that things that you feel are natural for you, for a teenager who is alone, homeless, or who have no parent or nobody to take care of him, it's something overwhelming.
mhm,
So you know how to open a bank account. So this teenager maybe have no idea how to do it. You know how to do a
mhm,
budget. Maybe this teenager cannot, have no clue. They want to go to college, how to do that.
mhm,
So you have to put yourself in, you are watching, so put yourself in the shoes of a kids, because at this point, when you are homeless at 16, you are a kid. And it's a kid going out of a suppose environment where he's safe and going in the wild streets where he has nothing, nobody to support him, and nobody to show him how to do things that are supposedly natural and normal and easy to do for adults. And it's important to say that because for I have been talking with some of these teenagers who are homeless, who have been in situation, very difficult situation, and this is their first concern, doing the things that are easy for adults or natural, like having the first home, all that, yes. So I wanted to emphasize that because that was one of the first things that I say, wow, that's true. I didn't even realize that at the point when the first time I met you. Yes. So go ahead, Deshaun. Sorry for interrupting.
yeah. No, no, you're perfect. You're perfectly fine. And I think for me, it was something I was really forced to really grow up really fast because, if I wasn't had the knowledge of these things, like, I would have been, just going down, down, down really fast.
Mm.
And so I really had to get up on my feet and like, how do I really support myself? And one of the things that I did was I went to the internet, and I went to the internet to find some sort of program or organization, or even like, 211 or 311, something
Mm-hmm.
that the state or city provided that could really help out, someone in my situation, being 18, 19 years old, and, trying to, support myself. Like, is there programs the city provides
How to
that,
do, how to do,
um, yes,
to know
exactly,
how
how to
to
do,
do,
and
how to do the
how
basic.
to support yourself.
Mm.
Yes, and unfortunately, I didn't find anything, and and I was like, man, like, and then I went to more broad, like, okay, well, is there some sort of like other program in another state that to where they can work with me over the phone or something? Like, I just have a lot of questions, and those questions, for me was very getting unanswered, and by the day, it was just getting more and more challenging for me to where, because now I'm an 18-year-old, male, African American, um, and those things were against me. At that time, me trying to go out and be independent, like I felt the world was against me. The people in my community was against me. People didn't look at me like and being a responsible young man. I was being turned away.
You were
Um,
being judged by.
Exactly. I was being judged, by the world, by the community. So it was very hard for me to tackle, all the things I had tackling. And on top of that, still get pushed away, like I was in the past. So I really, I sat down and I said, why isn't there anything out there to support a situation like that I am? And, from the students that I was in the group home with, they was in the same situation I was. So I'm sure by the time they turned 18, 19, to where, will the city or government kick them out of those programs, I'm sure they was in the same situation as I was, supporting themselves and having being forced to do it, because if not, you're an adult now, like no one's going to be there to hold your hand to do it. So I really sat down and thought to myself, like, why isn't there anything like available to help you know, um, people in this situation. So, and I really thought about that for a long time. And then I got to myself like, man, like, maybe I can start something. Maybe I can be the one to implement something to where it can support individuals in the same situation, and not even doesn't have to be the same situation, but just they want education because they never got taught about certain things, like while they was growing up, that they can do. Like, why not? And that's where the idea of Strive and Inspire Development Center came along. And I
And that
basically
is fabulous. And we listen to what's going on, because Dejuwuan, he creates a foundation just because he went through a process, and he realized that instead of saying, oh, poor me, or I cannot do it, okay, I'm done, I'm giving up, he said, okay, all the people are in the same situation. How can I be of service? How can I help them as well? How can I use my experience to make it happen for them? Because I had nobody for myself. I want to help others who are coming in the world in the same situation. So, guys, whatever happened in your life, think about it. His example for me, I will tell you again, I have been touched by your story, but I am absolutely I am always there to help in your foundation for that also, because I believe you use your experience to grow and to say, okay, I'm not the only one in this situation and I want to do it for others. And for that, I am extremely grateful that I'm here to help as well.
Yes, and I thank you for that as well, Medge. And with this organization, like, I thought of all the different areas that I needed support in, to where, like, let me sit down and think, like, where some areas where I was really lacking, that I really needed support in. The first thing I thought of was like education. Like, going from high school to college was very difficult.
Yes.
and I didn't get no coaching, like, no, hey, here's a trial, like the FAFSA, like that was very new to me. And,
How can
it,
I do it? Yes.
yes, and it was more complex because I didn't know my parents' situation and their information to put into FAFSA, so it made that even more difficult for me. And just applying in essays and grants and scholarships, like all that was just new to me, and it was very hard. So education was the first thing I thought of, like, man, like how can I really get in this situation more comfortably?
How
And
can
next,
we help students going from high school to college without any help, without
yeah,
without knowing what fields they have to follow, what classes they are to take, how
hmm
to apply, how to do a essay, how to choose your college? Nothing.
exactly, and your classes too, and your
Yeah, the
classes.
classes, absolutely, because you have to
Yes,
choose a class and you have to figure out what you can do. You will do
exactly.
business, but why you will do business? You want to do med school,
Yeah.
but how can you do that? So you have to use
Yes.
your skills, and you have no one to hold your hand and show you how to do that. And that is
Yeah.
important. So
Yes.
you create Strive, so SID Center, which is an organization that help young teenagers and young adults to go
Uh,
ahead.
yeah. So
It's
yeah.
getting
So we
better.
Yes, we support young adults from age 13 years old to 23 years old. So teenagers and young adults, and we help support them on their transition period from young adult to adult. So we just provide education to them about certain topics that don't necessarily get taught in high school or even at home, to where they can really be successful in the world, not just in life, just in the world in general. Because I think there are necessary things just to know, just to get by, like daily activities. And so going back to, with the whole education thing, which is why, we have an education, side of things, to where we support students with that.
That's
The,
how
one of
we
the,
met.
yes. And one of the second things, where I saw there was a lack I was lacking in, it was finances. I had no education about finances whatsoever. And, I didn't have a debit checking account. I didn't even know how that worked or what was the point of that. And, I had a car and I had a place, I had to pay rent and bills, and just all that was brand new to me. And then,
Overwhelmed. You were
yes,
overwhelmed because you have no idea that when you pay for an apartment, you have to have the first month a deposit. You have
hmm
no clue about all that. You don't know that you have to pay your water, electricity, maybe insurance, rental insurance. All
yes,
that,
yes,
somebody have to
and
teach you that. And
exactly.
what SID is doing. So the SID Center are all over the United States. So go ahead, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so we now we're operating in three different states, so which is pretty amazing. We got incorporated in the state of Nevada, and we're also doing work in Central Texas as well, and then also in the South Coast of Florida, so which is pretty amazing. And we're still networking, and we're still building and growing from there. We're partnering with local school districts and community colleges, so we can provide our curriculum classes inside their rooms. But soon we're going to be offering one-on-one support for individuals out there that's from 18 years old to 23 that aren't necessarily really in school or college and take that route, that kind of just working full time and just living life, so we can still give them like one-on-one classes that way too, even though they may not be incorporated. I'm sorry, they may not be, with a school per se, they're just out in the world. I know, we can still support them educationally, whether it's in person one-on-one or virtually online too. So, because I do have a lot of friends that aren't in college, and they're 22, 21, 22, 23, and there's still some things that they lack,
They
and they
need to
kind of
know.
need to know.
Mhm.
And even just because they didn't decide to go to college doesn't really mean,
Life is ending. They need
yes,
to grow up
it,
in a way, in a
mhm.
functional way, I will say.
Yeah, so we plan hopefully next year to kind of get that started and try to find those individuals out in the world by, marketing and posting ads and just having other people just speak about it to where, if you're 20, 21 and you're kind of just sitting at home and you're kind of looking, hey, I want to know a little bit more how to take care of my body, hey, there's an organization out there that can support you, we're
So,
looking for you,
exactly.
look for us as well.
So I will say, okay, if you are a young adult and you are looking for education in any kind of domain, because Dejuwuan talk about education, financial education, he talk about, but we talk about art, we talk about motivation, sport, indulgence, we talk about all the subjects that help somebody go from teenager to adulthood. Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's important. So if you are in this situation, please reach out to us. We will write under this video all the detail. And also, if you are a mentor, so who is a mentor? We are all mentor. We are adults. We know something. We have an expertise in a subject. For example, I met Dejuwuan because I was doing college planning. I was helping a teenage to transition from high school to college. So he reached out to me. And I was so lucky to be able to help. And
Mhm.
my husband, he was doing financial education. Oh, he came also. And it's word of mouth. You are at home right now. With COVID, it's easy for you to be on the phone with a teen. It's easy for you to be on a Zoom and talk to somebody just 45 minutes of your time during the week, and give the chance to a young adult to become an adult, but in a more stable way, because they think about these teenagers who have been out of their parents' house, who have no parents, teenagers who are in the streets. They didn't choose to be in the street. They were forced to be there. And because they were forced to be there, we who have the chance to have a home, or we know how to open a bank account, we know how to rent a house, we know how
Yeah,
to,
support ourselves.
exactly, it's a how to, which is easy for us, is difficult for them. So
Hmm.
let's give them a chance to help somebody. We can help somebody. Someone, 45 minutes of your time, you can talk to somebody. Someone who
Yes,
has a want to talk to someone, want to feel that somebody care about them.
yes,
And it's easy.
yes. And you don't really need to have expertise in these areas. You don't need to have a college degree in financing or a college degree in health. It's, this is just everyday things that, on a daily, scale that we know and we live our daily lives by. So, in any of these areas, if you really to, support students and, like Medge mentioned, like whether it's arts, education, finances, self-indulgence, which does with like your body independency and self-esteem and self-worth, and health, working out and eating right as well. And then support like one-on-one for our students, like in any of those areas you feel like you can, talk to a teenager, like Ben said, at least 45 minutes a week, like, whether it's in person, or virtually, all
Oh,
over the world, like, we can support, these individuals. If we look at it like really per city, like there's hundreds of students, like, there's a statistic that I saw in like a lot of major cities about, if they really look at their numbers of like, teenagers, which is from all the way up to 18 down to like 13 years old. About like 30% of all their teenagers that they have in the city are considered like at risk, which could either mean like they're already homeless on the course of being homeless, or they're in a situation at home to where it's very vulnerable. So 30%, like that's a big number. you know,
It's a
and
huge number.
it's a really huge number. And I think, you know, just starting here, we can be able to lower that number, that percentage down, you know, per year. So, you know, if you guys are willing to, you know, jump on this journey with me, you know, like Matt said, like, please reach out. You know, we're always willing to, you know, bring mentors onto the team, and really just grow the organization in a way to where, you know, the students are wanting, you know, to kind of reach out and, you know, put their pride aside. Cause I think that was something for me too. Like, you know, being 19 years old, like, I can do everything by myself, you know, I don't need anybody, you know.
Which is
But
not true. Which is not true. We know
yes,
that even at 40, 50, 60, we always need somebody. I know
exactly.
a friend, Pat Rogers, she say, people need people, and people always need
Mhm.
people. So
Exactly.
we need you. Uh, you know something, and even if you don't feel expert in a subject, you don't have expertise really in a subject, you can talk to a young person who need an adult to talk to. And you are
Yes.
maybe retired, maybe you are in between jobs, and it feels so good to be able to help somebody and feel useful,
Hmm.
helpful, and give
Exactly.
them a little bit hope. It's
Hmm.
fabulous.
Yes.
So yeah, I have been doing it with you, and each time I feel like, wow, I did something today. I
Hmm.
impact one life today. It's not that I'm not doing anything,
Yeah. Most
but
definitely.
yes, but when you do it with somebody who really need it, you feel that, wow, today I wake up for a reason. Today I wake up for this little kid who is by himself in the world and have no way to make it in the world, and I
Hmm.
give him my time, and it was nothing for me, but it was so much for him.
Yes,
And I
most
think
definitely.
this is what matters.
Yes.
So
And
maybe
I will say,
so happy that we were able to talk, and we will do it more often, because with all the people on Facebook who are on Facebook, that means you have nothing to do, right, guys? No,
yes.
I think you are on Facebook. You have the time. You can find the time to talk to somebody and to share your experience, to tell your story to someone, to
Yes.
inspire someone, and it's what um, SID is about. Strive and Inspire Development Center for you
Yes.
adults who want to make it in the world. Maybe your kids at home will not listen to you, but these kids will listen to you because they need. And this is true.
Yes,
This
yes,
is
it's very
true.
true. Very true.
You don't listen to your parents sometimes, but you will listen to somebody who care about you and have
Hmm.
no blood relation, but is there just because you matter. And I think
Yes.
it's important.
Yes, most definitely. And you guys may ask, you know, like, okay, well, how can I reach out? You know, where can I reach out? You can always go to our website, you know, at sidcenter.org, and that kind of showcase all the curriculums that we have, and, you know, contact information for myself. You know, or you can always message Medge, or myself on Facebook. I know she had tagged us
Yes.
online. Or you can, you know, email me at Dejuwuan, which is Dejuwuan at sidcenter.org. So sidcenter.org. Or if you just, you know, easier, you can always text or call me at 512-960-9553. So, and then I can reach out to you guys by then. But thank you so much, Medge, you know, for,
You
you know,
are welcome. Thank you, Dejuan, for being who you are first, and for taking the time to create this amazing program to help young adults like you, but young adults who have been in a difficult situation and who still are in a difficult situation. So thank you for all that. I know the student thank you all the time, but it's important to thank you and thank you and thank you. And thank to all the team of
mhm,
SID, because SID is growing. SID is in Nevada. So
mhm,
friend from Nevada, you can help SID Nevada. Friend from
mhm,
Texas, you can help SID from Texas. Friend from Florida, you can help SID from Florida. But with COVID, so we have to say it's a good thing. No, it's not, but it's at this time, we have time to be of service. We have time to be of service anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in the world and have time to help one kid, please reach out and be a mentor, be a big brother, be a big sister for somebody who needs it. So thank you, Dejuwuan. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Medge. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. And we will see you soon because we will come back. We need a lot of mentor. You have a lot of 30% of the population of young adults need you. So see you soon on Facebook Live. And Dejuwuan, we give them back your phone number and your email address. So yes. Dejuwuan, DEJUWUAN at SIDCenter.org. So Dejuwuan at SIDCenter.org, and his phone number is
512-960-9553. Again, it's 512-960-9553. Feel free to call or text me.
Okay, so thank you again for all of you who are live with us. And thank you, Dejuwuan. Thank you to all the SID Center team. And speak with you very soon.
Yes,
bye-bye.
bye now.
Bye-bye.